Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I am Mike. Thanks for spending a moment of your day with me. As always, I just got out of a screening of Pearl, so I'm in a very weird mood. But I'll tell you this, I'm gonna have a lot of coffee, and I'm gonna watch like fucking All That or Good Burger or something like that to just shake the darkness out of me, like Vanilla Ice had his pockets shaked out by Suge Knight. Yeah, so Pearl, I went to see it. This is the prequel to X, Ty West's last movie, and I have a love and hate relationship with Ty West movies. Sometimes I think they're just absolutely fucking fantastic, and sometimes I'm like, just fucking get to it already. It just depends on the mood. It depends on the day. My wife had something really funny to say about this, actually, because I was talking about it. She didn't enjoy X. She's not a Ty West person, you know? That's not her kind of horror. She's like, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. I did watch someone dry fuck a scarecrow a few minutes ago, and I was like, you know, she didn't have her clothes off, but she did, I'm pretty sure, come while dry humping a scarecrow. And she's like, why? See, that's what I'm talking about. Why do you need that in a movie? She's like, why? So I can watch you go to your film premiere wearing your fucking beret and feel like you're artsy? And it just made me laugh. I was like, I mean, you kind of explained it yourself. Sometimes artsy stuff has its purpose, and then sometimes it doesn't, and then sometimes it's not being artsy, it's being as fucked up as possible. There's a whole lot of layers to that, and you really got to be careful when you walk that line. And I feel like this one falls into a mix between really good filmmaking and disturbing, more so than it does the artsy for the sake of being artsy. So I think that kind of stuff works with this movie. But for me, what I'll say about Pearl is it feels like Ty West watched The Joker and wanted to make his version of that movie. I haven't seen a single other review for this. I haven't even seen the Rotten Tomatoes reactions to it. I haven't seen almost any online reaction to it whatsoever either. So I'm curious to see how other people feel about this. But to me, it feels a lot like The Joker did. A lot like Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips' Joker movie. In that it is a slasher movie, yes, but it's a straight up character study. I mean, they take you painstakingly, as you know, if you've seen it, through the ins and outs of Pearl, Mia Goth's character in the movie. But when I say painstakingly, I mean specifically like one scene in the movie where she goes on this big long diatribe explaining everything she's done to her sister-in-law, pretending that she's talking to her husband who's overseas in battle. And she's just, I mean, it goes on for fucking ever. And she's amazing. Like, her performance in that moment and in the movie overall is just fucking fantastic. And I'm not someone who gushed over her performance in X. I thought she was fine. But in this, man, I get it now. Like, I am team fucking Mia Goth for sure. I mean, this scene goes on forever. It went on too long, actually. The dialogue went on too long. I was actually like, I mean, I fucking get it, man. Let's go. Come the fuck on. Y'all are on stopwatch. You need to be on sundown. You know what I mean? Or the fucking opposite or whatever. I don't know. I'm wearing glasses so I can say things. It was kind of like X in that it was very slow, but you learn to appreciate, when you go in expecting it, you learn to appreciate it, right? Like he really takes his time with the He really takes his time with the cinematography, with the unveiling of the shots, with the movements of the camera, and he really sets the tone and the mood for the movie. Now, there is one shot particularly, this is a spoiler review, so we can just say it, right? Her mom's a big fat fucking bitch, all right? She's not fat, she's in great shape, I'm sure, but she's a huge bitch. Fat in the terms of her bitchiness is fucking massive. Awful mom, and it's such a slow character study through this. Like, they make you really suffer through it. Anything she does, she's like, haha, mom, the sun's out. And she's like, I hate you. Will you please go feed the fucking cows? Hide him! Clean the chicken shit from cages now! Why am I Arnold? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. That's the worst accent maybe of all time, and I'm sorry, and I would turn off this channel immediately if I were you and never come back here ever! But I will say this, yeah, her mom's a huge bitch. And you don't feel bad for her, because almost as soon as the movie starts, with that I Love Lucy type of old school opening, that's not my thing. Like, I didn't grow up watching the old Technicolor, like, shit like that. Like, so that's all foreign to me. I'm not the market audience for it. But someone who enjoyed that time period in movies and shows and shit would probably get a huge fucking kick out of this. And I don't know, I'm not learned on it, but it looks like he did an amazing job with the period piece stuff. Like, it's like 1918 or whatever. And the shots are beautiful, and the period stuff is absolutely beautiful. And it's one of those things you can tell, like, it's not like the opening of Elvis where Baz Luhrmann's just like puking the streets of Las Vegas and shit in your face. It's so subtle, and you can tell it's done cheaply, but it doesn't feel cheap. It just feels reserved, right? Like, it just, and it's natural. Like, I don't know. I was taken by it a little bit because it was like really good the way he did the whole thing. It was impressive as fuck. It's just not my thing that time period. So when it starts out, I'm like, okay, yeah, the Dorothy thing, all this shit like that we got going on. And she's out in the barn and she's singing, and I'm thinking this could get a little bit annoying for me. And then she kills the duck, and I'm like, this is what I'm here for: the murder of innocent animals. Thank you. Saying that out loud just now, pretty fucked up. But when she kills the bird, she takes it out and she feeds it to the alligator. It was really cool to see the same setting and all that shit from Pearl in X. I liked all that stuff. And just a really fucked up way to start the thing. And it's like it's almost like Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, or like I said, Joker or something like that. And it is the slow unraveling of someone who's very fucking mentally ill, and the origin story of a serial killer. So that stuff was creepy and it worked for me. You know, the way she's so fucking scary, and seeing like the gadgetry behind those fucking eyes start to wake up, like the serial killer in her start to wake up, was disturbing. And that's where the horror stuff comes in. So it makes everything kind of work in its own way. I did get a little fucking tired of, is my kitchen drowning? Why is everything in this house so fucking loud? Anyways, it's like underneath the surface scary, you know what I mean? Like there's not a whole lot of in-your-face stuff happening until she starts to fucking go buku crazy and fucking murder people. Mainly the dude who kind of had it coming. I mean, you don't hit on a lady, especially back in those days, and show her porno in your little fucking room when you know that she's married and her husband's overseas. That guy got what was fucking coming to him. Even though he had some really good life advice to give her, he still got what was fucking coming to him. But her way back, as we were speaking earlier, her way back from meeting him for the first time, wow, that was fucked up. I mean, damn. And they linger. When she goes into the woods and she pulls down the scarecrow and she starts making out with it. Don't ask me why it was hot. I guess, what the fuck? We're learning a lot about me today. But no, she's like making out with it, and then she starts fucking it. I did not find that attractive. I found that very fucking disturbing. And I'm like, please stop fucking that scarecrow. It's making me so uncomfortable right now. And, you know, moaning and doing the whole thing. Like I said, I'm pretty sure she definitely came on that scarecrow. That scarecrow had a good fucking day. But yeah, the way it sets up the uncomfortableness for you. I'm gonna comp this movie to two things that are gonna sound kind of crazy. I don't think it's as good as either film, don't get me wrong. But I mentioned the Joker earlier, and I'm also gonna comp it to The Shining a little bit. And again, I'm not putting it on that level. That's an insane fucking level of horror wizardry. But the way that he lingers on this shot, the way that he doesn't pan away from it, the way he makes you fucking sit and watch her fuck this scarecrow and like moan and everything, and the awkwardness of it and the strangeness of it. At some point, man, I'm like the fucking Cranberries. I'm like, do you have to let it linger? Do you have to? You know what I mean? Like, it is so uncomfortable. And that's what horror is, though. Like, that's what that uncomfortableness, like when they bring out the pig and it's like literally rotting and you're forced to like see the pig fucking mold. It's so uncomfortable and it's so fucked up. And then you're like, that is a horror, though. That's horror. Like, this is freaking me out in different ways, different emotions, different waves of things happening to me. And you gotta like it, man. This guy fucking gets it, right? He gets horror. The more and more I talk about it, the more I like the movie. Like, even more. The only problem I have with it is that it's not a very pleasurable space. For the same reason it's good as a horror movie. It's the same reason that it's like my favorite or anything. Because it's just not a great place to spend 2 hours inside of this fucked up wackadoo's head. You know what I mean? And it's not supposed to be. So I'm not blaming the movie for that. It's just where it comes down for me is like, I'm going to give the movie a super solid fucking 8 out of 10. And no, you know what? I'm going to give it an 8.5. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give this a super solid 8.5 out of 10 because it's filmed to perfection. It is a roller coaster ride into fucking Crazyville. And when I mentioned The Shining earlier from that scene, there's another scene that's could be possibly my favorite scene of horror in 2022. I had to really rethink that statement. I'm just like throwing my dick out on the table here without any, thought whatsoever, which is not something you should ever do in the year of our Lord 2022, my friends. Do not put your dick out there uninvited. No. Mentally, though, you can do that, which is what I'm doing right now. But anyways, at the end of the movie, where she's talking to her sister-in-law and she just unveils this insane dialogue to her, And then she gets up and starts to walk away. It was a lot like, once again, the Joker. It was a lot like that scene where he's in his apartment with those two dudes and he kills that guy, and the other guy's trying to get out and he's just sitting in the way. He's like, go on, I'm not going to hurt you. That uncomfortableness of it. The girl knows something's fucked up, right? So she's trying to like quietly leave the house, you know, like when your mom's cleaning and you're trying to go out with your friends and you don't want to get seen because you know she's gonna fucking rage. Just quietly exiting the house, and then there's fucking Spider-Man. Quietly leaving. There's something about the way that scene panned out for me, man. It was just fucking gorgeous. Everything. She's walking down that pathway, and at some point you're like, okay, I know Mia Goth's coming out. Pearl's coming out of that fucking house, right, to do damage. And then the way she chilly like walks out, and then just looks at her and is like, hey, and just like slowly walks over, picks up the fucking axe, and when she picks up the axe, the girl's like, oh shit, I better fucking scoot. And then she starts moving, but not fast enough. You gotta fucking rip those shoes off and go straight up goddamn Tom Cruise, Steven Seagal running like this, you know? Let the ponytail flap in the fucking wind. You gotta go. And then the way she just comes after her, I don't know. I can't explain it. And when I can't explain it, it makes it even more impressive how the fuck they did that and created that vibe right there. It was so cool and it was so simple. It's just someone chasing someone with an axe. I don't know why I loved it so much, but it gave me the fucking illy billies, and it was cool. And she kills her with the axe. Kind of reminds me of the chase scene in the opening of Scream when he's chasing down Drew Barrymore. Like, you know it's coming, but it's fucking painful to watch happen. And then there's a bunch of... That was a good kill. All the kills were really good. There wasn't a ton of kills, but... the boyfriend, the asshole dude who slept with the dude's wife while he was overseas, when she goes fucking stage 5 clinger, you know, she's starting to really just lose her fucking bananas when she kills him, and he's like, you're scaring me. And he handled that as much of a gentleman as he possibly could. You got to give him credit for that. But he was like, at first he was like, what is fucking wrong with you? Like, I think we've all been in that situation, not with someone that crazy, but where you think someone's normal, and then like something clicks and you see it. You know, you see like, oh, this person and I cannot be friends. Whether it's a compulsive lie or like whatever. Sometimes as adults, we meet somebody in our lives and something clicks and you go, can't do it. I need to go return some videotapes. And that's what happened in that moment when they're upstairs and he hears something and she's like, no, it's fine. He's like, what is wrong with you? And then that scene was so tense and so insane, and you just knew he was going to fucking die. And he dies in the most heinous of ways. Pitchfork horror. Gets pitchforked and then pitchforked through the fucking... right through there, into the ground. Fucked up death. And then the mom, I'm not going to be honest with you. I wanted the mom to get exactly what she got. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not siding with Pearl in this. I don't feel bad for Mia Goth's character and what she's going through, because she's obviously a piece of shit. Even though, you know, there's some fucking wiring loose up here. She's still a murderous piece of shit, right? And she continues to become an old and crispy murderous piece of shit, as we saw in X. But when her mom gets it, is what I'm saying. That scene was intense as shit, very Hereditary. Not just because she was lit on fire. It was just like the woman fucking screaming. You know what I mean? Like the way that they were going after each other is just tense. I was basically the dad in the chair, just sitting there like... And that storyline was fucked up too. Why are you spreading your legs naked in the shower in front of your dad who can't move or speak? You know what I mean? Like, why are you just sitting there like washing your fucking self and like, hey dad, I had a good date today. Would you like a jelly bean? That was just kind of fucked up to me. And then her mom walks in. It's like, oh, it's cool. She's just naked in the tub. That whole story was so fucked up. The way that she was like pinching her dad and like slowly, like with her fucking wet fingers, like rubbing his face and shit. So uncomfortable. Again, that is horror. And I, man, the more I talk about this movie, the more I actually appreciate it. I love it when that happens. It's fun. The scene where she grabs the alligator egg and squeezes it, and then it goes back to her husband coming home from the war and exploding. That was just fucking image wizardry. You know what I mean? It reminded me, that was the scene in this that was in Ty West's X of her swimming and the alligator floating through. That was kind of that shot for me in this movie. Just really fucking cool. It doesn't amount to anything, but just really fucked up and cool. And the way that she loses it and goes crazy is absolutely scary. It's freaky as fuck. And she deserves some sort of award. She was absolutely amazing in this movie. And did we cover it all? Did we cover all the deaths? Yeah, I think we did. I felt bad for her dad, for sure. And again, another parallel to Joker, right? Where he suffocates his mom with a pillow, and then you got her begrudgingly killing him just because she's like, and I think that's like the most sociopathic thing ever, right? Where she's like, hey, I love you, I don't want to kill you, but I really don't want to feel bad about leaving you here. So if you're just dead, that would work better for me. You know, that's really fucked up the way that the mind works on stuff like that. And it's also, you don't, like I said, you don't feel guilty for her, but it's fucked up when she's sitting there and she knows something's wrong with her. She's like, I think everybody else has something I don't have, and it sucks. You know, sympathy's not the right word, but whatever it is, it's an interesting character study of somebody like that. So I don't know, man. I fucking liked Pearl a whole lot. I like it even more than I'm sitting down talking about it. That ending shot of her just having to stand there like was fucking brutal. Like, I felt so bad for her. I would have cracked a tooth. I'd have been smiling so hard. I would have cracked a tooth. There's no doubt about it. I would have. But again, that's just great acting. When she's like crying and shit like that, and it's like zooming in on her face and the credits are coming up. That was fucked up of Ty West to make her do that. But what a chef's kiss at the end of a fucked up movie, and at the end of a fucked up, amazing actress's performance. That was Mia Goth in that movie. And also, that ending is just cruel too. Like, Howard gets home, and we know how that story goes. Like, he just goes, okay, fuck it. You killed your fucking parents. You're a super serial killer. All right, you're fucking nuts. But I guess we're fucking married, so let's do this thing. You know what I mean? And they live out the rest of their lives banging like motherfuckers, even when he's just saggy as shit. And they make us watch it in X2. We see them just all the way fuck. I mean, all of it. So we know that they had a happy relationship all the way up until the end. So he got over it. So maybe it wasn't that sad of an ending, right? They found their counterpart. As fucked up and dark as that is, don't eat lasagna at that house. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, thanks for watching me ramble about this movie. I'd love to hear your all's thoughts on it down below. And I hope you guys have an awesome fucking day, man. And if you want the non-spoiler review, I don't know why you would watch that now. It's on the fucking TikTok. Love all your fucking faces, man. Have a great weekend.
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you want to know about the darkness?
I said, God damn.
God damn you, faggot!
I said, God damn.
A lot of people don't know the darkness that goes inside their hearts.
I said, God damn.